Hey, everybody. Just going to see if a few people come on. If anybody's going to come on for the chat. I'm going to do this either way. I'm just going to give it a few minutes to see if anybody gets any notifications and decides to pop on and join me. I hope everybody's day is going well. For those of you that watch the replay, let's see about angling. I want my hocus pocus painting to be behind me with my lights. Maybe I'll move over this way a little bit more. Nah, I like it this way. Okay. All right. So for those of you that join me or don't join me, you can watch this in the replay. As always, for those of you who do know me or don't know me, this is a safe space and a kind community. So make sure that any comments that you leave, anything that you say is kind, is well thought out, is constructive, and it's not attacking anybody, because this is not meant to be an attack forum. It's meant to be a shared thoughts forum type of space. So I wanted to come on and, first of all, welcome everybody. Those of you that know me, those of you that don't, welcome back. I am Mel from Mel's Divination, and this channel, I'm sorry that I didn't post this Wednesday. I usually post every single Wednesday new witchy or spiritual information, and this week I didn't. It's been very challenging energy. We're here to talk about Midnight Mass on Netflix. If you've watched it, if you haven't watched it, there are some spoiler alerts in here, so I am going to talk about that just a bit. So if you haven't watched it and you want to watch it, don't stay very long. I'll let you know when I'm going to get into it. But this week has been rather challenging energetically for me. For those of you who've been following me on my journey for a while, I suffer from migraines, and when the energies astrologically, and I do a lot of tarot readings and energetic readings for clients, and when the energies are challenging, sometimes it really can pack a wallop on me. And Saturn has recently come out of retrograde. Mercury is in retrograde right now for the next few days, and so is Jupiter, and they're coming out in just a few days from now, but we will still feel the effects of that for a little while longer. And it's been a little tough. I've been feeling some very physical effects. There were some solar storms the other day. I've been feeling very sick physically, having a lot of migraines, feeling nauseous, feeling floaty and dizzy, and needing to take some time. I do have a video ready for you guys that I have to edit. That is an unboxing of a Tamed Wild subscription box. So I'm really excited to share that with you. It was an unexpected purchase that just kind of came up. So that is coming up, and I'm still working on the Doreen Virtue and binaural beats videos. Those will be coming as promised in a few weeks on the list. But in the meantime, today, what we're here for, when I wasn't feeling well, laid on the couch all day and binge watched Midnight Mass on Netflix. Now, I don't know if I would necessarily recommend watching it. I'd have to give it like a middle ground, it was okay for the show. For those of you that are triggered by anything with church, or those of you who want to still watch the show and have not watched it, now is your time to leave, because I'm going to start talking about it, okay? So the thing with Midnight Mass, and for those of you who have been following my journey or that are new to me, I was raised Catholic, and you can go back and watch my other videos. I'm not going to get too deep into it. I will a little bit here, but I was raised Catholic, and so this kind of brought some stuff up. I left the church a long time ago. Sorry. My connection is unstable. Why is my connection unstable? I have full Wi-Fi. Well, hopefully it doesn't drop again. Okay, so anyway, I was watching Midnight Mass when I wasn't feeling well. I'm not sure where it cut out, but I was watching Midnight Mass when I wasn't feeling well. And it's in the spooky season. There's definitely, it's kind of like a thriller, suspense, horror type of show. And it's very interesting. It's on Netflix. I don't know if I would even recommend it. It was something that I just was kind of like, "Ooh, a new spooky show. Like, it's about church. What the heck could this be about?" So I watched it, and it totally set off my old school Catholic stuff. Like, it's all about church. There's a lot of praying. There's a lot of music, psalms and things like that in there that were from my childhood, from when I used to go to church, that I was like, oh God, I remember that song. Oh God, I remember that. Oh, I remember that. But the main theme of this is there's kind of like this monster that comes to they're on a secluded island, and there's this monster that comes to the island, and it's killing off things and people, and why. And in the meantime, their pastor disappeared and a new pastor comes in. Well, my big issue with this is how much blind faith these people had in the church, in the pastor, and they never questioned anything about this new person. They just were like, oh, okay. And they kind of like, bowed down and just did whatever, especially the really devout followers were extremely, some were not, some were on the outskirts, but the very devotees were beyond, like, they didn't think for themselves. Like, my pastor told me to do this. Father so-and-so, and I can't remember the character's name, said this, I'm doing it. I'm doing it no matter what. I am here and I am doing it. And it got to a point where, like, there were murders going on and they were still doing it. They were still taking care of this pastor no matter what. And it was extremely upsetting, like this blind faith in the church, because we're doing it for God. We're doing it for Jesus, where it's very twisted and corrupt. And that's not actually normally what happens in the real world. It's like the extreme version of it. But it triggered a lot to me about like how the world is like that too, on a much lesser level, where certain faiths and certain people in certain sections of that faith really do just blindly follow. And I actually dated such a devout Christian that he had to constantly try to save my soul and was constantly trying to convert me to Christianity. And it was a nonstop preach fest to save me because I was going to hell. And he was a warrior, a soldier for Christ, and he had to, and it was us versus them thing. And it really got me into a place, this show got me into a place of really thinking about that, and how it was like a duty for this person. They never relaxed because they always had to go out there and try to rescue people from their own choices. My free will, my choice, I can do what I want. And so this Midnight Mass show kind of really brought up those memories for me and made me think of that person and what they would do if they were on that island. Would they just blindly follow their pastor? Probably. I don't know about when the murders started taking place. Probably not. They do think for themselves to some degree, but yeah. And what ended up happening, spoiler. So I'm going to give you some pretty big information here if you haven't watched it. So if at this time, I'm going to say it now. So if you haven't seen it and you don't want to know, now's the time to close out. The whole thing with this pastor, he ended up being the old pastor who came back in rejuvenated with life. He's young again. And it's because the angel of the Lord had helped him get young again, brought him back to his original, like 20 something. He was 80. And then it brought him back to his 20 something year old. And the reason why he had to kill people was he was sort of like a zombie / vampire, where he was eating people's brains and sucking their blood. And this angel of the Lord was like this kind of creature monster that was feeding off of people, eating people on the island. So it was very supernatural-ish. And it just kind of made me go, really? That's not an angel. Like, that's not an angel. Like, an angel wouldn't be killing people and eating people and helping you eat people and like, and you're just believing it. You're just believing that he's an angel. Like, he's not an angel. And they were just all on board. Okay, we'll do it because he's an angel of the Lord. He's an angel of the Lord. The Lord told us that that's what we have to do. So it really kind of triggered a lot in me. And it also made me think about, like, when I was growing up as a child, how, especially in Catholic, when I was growing up as a Catholic, as a preteen and a teenager, that I always felt like a bad Catholic because I questioned everything. It's the Scorpio and the Capricorn in me. I'm a Scorpio sun, and I have a lot of placements in Scorpio, and I'm a Capricorn rising, and I question everything. I need answers. I need to understand. I need to, like, I inspect and need evidence for everything. And if I'm not seeing evidence, I'm sorry, my windows are open and my neighborhood is loud. If I'm not seeing everything, then or if I'm not seeing evidence, if I'm not seeing proof, then I don't blindly follow. And I've been like that since I was very young, since I was, I don't know, 8, 9. And when I didn't get answers, I really kind of was like, I don't know. And so I always felt like I was bad because I didn't blindly have faith the way everybody else did. And then I started to go through puberty, and they didn't really teach me how to deal with that. And they kept telling me that I needed to cover myself up, and I needed to not talk to boys, and I needed to, and then, I ended up being more, a Scorpio, more promiscuous than I should have been, according to the Catholic Church. And then I had to go and confess because I did have sex when I was like 14, 15. And I felt like this horrible, oh my God, I'm going to go to hell. I had sex outside of marriage. I'm a horrible person. Like, I was constantly beating myself up, and I always felt like I was wrong. And that was pretty much about a situation that I didn't even fully believe in. And it was just constant shame and making me feel like I wasn't good. I wasn't good enough. And that was basically why I chose to leave. That full picture of, like, just not feeling like a good person because I was being who I was. So this show really brought up a lot in me about blindly following religion and needing to make sure that things are questioned. And there is so many ways to blend religions, like, as I've mentioned before in other videos, that you can be Christian or Catholic or Muslim or Hindu or Buddhist and mix it and also practice witchcraft, because witchcraft technically isn't a religion, and you can mix the beliefs because it's whatever your belief is. You can think for yourself. So I really wanted to come on here and talk about that and just put out there, what do you guys think? If you've watched this show, if you do watch this show, what do you think that angel was? Do you think it was an angel? Do you think, it never really said. What do you guys think? What do you think about the show? What do you think about the angel? I just kind of wanted to come on here and talk about it a little bit and see what people think about it, because I just was like, whoa. And the really saddest part is like only 2 people survived out of the whole thing. And me being an empath, and like, when I watch shows and sad stuff happens, or happy stuff, even happy stuff, I'll cry. Like, I just cry. So, like, at the very end, almost everybody died. And because the other reason why I questioned if it was like a vampire, sort of, is because part of this, like, once they drink your blood and they convert you to this thing of being very young, you have to continue to drink blood, and you can't go in the sun. If you go in the sun, you burn up. So at the very end, everybody ended up dying because there was no shelter, and the sun came out and there was nowhere to go. So yeah, my theory is vampire, of some form of a vampire. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think? I'd love to, but please, I'm not bashing the Christian faith or the Catholic faith or Christians. I'm talking about my personal experience, and there's definitely people out there, like, my whole family's Catholic and Christian, and there's people out there that I've been friends with in the past that are Christians that are great people. I've even read for Christians. So it's not that, I I have an issue with them specifically. I have an issue with the way that it's presented in certain attitudes, in certain ways. That's where my issue is. It's the very close-minded, gatekeeping, you're bad people if you don't do X, Y, and Z. That's where my issue is. And I'm like that about any type of thing, not just Christianity. I'm like that about any kind of major divide. I'm like that about racism. I'm like that about any kind of laws. I'm like that about even like food choices or living organically or living your lifestyle. I'm like that. When it comes to people like being, I'm good, you're bad. I'm very like, who are you to say that? Like you're within reason, obviously. Like if somebody's a murderer, that's not okay. So I hope that this has given you guys some food for thought. I do have Tamed Wild coming out, that unboxing. It will be out on Wednesday. I just wanted to get you guys a video out and do something for you guys in between that, so you're not waiting Wednesday to Wednesday with nothing. And I was inspired to talk, and I was feeling good after going for a walk. I'm kind of in my walking gear, and I've been doing a lot more veiling. This is one of my things for veiling. I wear it when I go out in my neighborhood too, because protection from energies out there. But that's about it for now. So thank you for watching. Be kind in the comments. Be kind to each other. Be kind about the faiths. Be kind. And if you have any questions, let me know. And I hope I will see you guys all in the next video. Subscribe, share, like, comment if you enjoyed this video. Bye, everybody.